Today marks 1494 days and lessons I learned and continue to learn with you. My hope these insights will inspire you, support your dreams, help achieve your goals, really empower you to become the person that you want to become. Today I speak about one word, one beautiful word, that is gain. And I think what every single person needs to understand about the word gain. There's so much things to gain in life, but I think that sometimes we need to understand, okay, what we able to do to really position ourselves in a better position to really gain more things. So today I'll share seven things what every single person must know about gain itself. So number one is gain is not just about addition, it's about transformation. Sometimes when you think about gaining is getting more and more and more, so that means that maybe more skill sets, becoming more of something that you already are. But I think that sometimes we need to realize that gaining is totally transforming what you already are. So who you are is rather than adding more of what you already are, asking, okay, how could I transform myself in a totally different person? So rather than saying, like, this is who I am and this is who I want to be. So how you want to become most likely will be not by addition to who you are, but by transforming yourself into somebody. And I think that I truly believe that every single person is able to transform themselves when they are willing to do the work. Sometimes it'll take longer, sometimes it'll be fast. But I think that's a beautiful thing that's when you need to become, you need to transform, not to add. Sometimes you need to add as well. When you are transforming yourself, sometimes you need to really, because one thing is that beautiful thing, when you add to the identity that you are potential right now, sometimes when you transform, you don't want to add the same thing. Maybe you need to add and gain to other areas of the life. What I mean by that is that if you work 9 to 5, this is who you are. It might be that you're developing skill sets that you will not need when you transform yourself into a business owner, like hard skills. Maybe you are adding and gaining knowledge in those skill sets, hard skills. But now when you become business owner, you don't need those skills anymore. Now you need total different soft skills that you need to develop: leadership, sales, influence, negotiation, networking. And that's a beautiful thing when gaining something starts from transformation rather than addition, even though both of them are important. Number two, true gain often requires loss. True gain often requires loss. And I think that's sometimes when I say that I want peace, inner peace, sometimes even losing people who are draining your energy could be a massive gain. But at the same time, I think that we need to understand is that when we want clarity, sometimes we need to lose confusion. When you want discipline, you need to lose comfort. There's a lot of things that we need to lose to really get to the another level. If you want to get confidence, you need to lose self-doubt. And that's a beautiful thing to lose. Sometimes I think that is one thing that sometimes the things that we want in life, like for example, in a relationship with somebody, we want that. But we know when we lose that, we'll gain so much more. So that means that sometimes you need to ask, okay, so if we lose that, what will happen? Maybe even I will gain more out of losing. Because of course, you don't want to lose it. There are some benefits in having something in your life. But maybe the losses and drainage out of what you already have is worse than you actually gaining. So gain requires exchange. That's the point. Number three, gain compounds. It rarely comes all at once. Gain compounds. Health, skill sets. You need to compound daily, gain after gain. Like it says, like 1% better every single day, and that's a gain. Gain in your skill set, gain in your understanding, gain in your perspective. There's so many things that you gain on a daily basis that it starts to compound. And when you look into and you can call it sometimes in the progress. Gain and progress is almost a lot of senses are synonyms. So daily habits that you create, that you start to see that how much gain you get. And I think that one thing that what happens is progress, it leads to a lot of gain. So when you have a lot of progress, that progress leads to a lot of gain. That means a lot of results are received because of that. So when we see about gain are compounding every single day because you progress every single day towards that minor behavior improvements. So those minor behavior improvements leads to better and better and better results. Okay. Number four, you can only gain what you prepare to receive. That's probably one of the most important parts, because sometimes we feel we do not deserve, we are not enough, something is wrong, we are not ready, and we're not able to receive the gifts that we are getting from the world. And I think that sometimes we need to work on self-worth just to make sure that we're able to receive the the gains, that we are ready, capable, and deserving, and we are more than enough to accept it. So we can ask if my mind's prepared, are my values prepared, are my actions prepared, I'm aligned, are my other systems really able to handle it? Because I think it's extremely important to really develop your understanding that until you feel that you deserve, until you believe, it will be hard to really acknowledge and accept all the gains that's coming to your way. Number 5, and that's just before number 5, it's just that growth requires readiness. And I think that's readiness comes from within. Number 5, gains follows identity, not effort. I think it partly is it's knowing that you are enough. And then what kind of identity do you have? Because identity leads to behavior, and behavior leads to results. And I think not vice versa. I think that sometimes people want to really look into behavior to bring results, but they don't include identity. Now, I understand that sometimes you're able to really build behavior, that behavior could lead to identity, but that is much, much harder push, because it requires a lot of massive willingness, a lot of willpower. It's possible, but it's much easier to focus directly the root cause, directly into identity, understanding who you are, change who you are in your mind, and that mind change, that switch in your mind will dictate on how change behavior much, much faster than vice versa in the other direction. As I'm becoming the person who, and you need to describe who you're becoming. Number 6 is gain is direction dependent. Gain is direction dependent. What it means that we need to ask, okay, what I really want to achieve, what I really want, what I want to gain, what I'm actually gaining from the actions I'm taking. So that means I want to make sure that I move the needle forward. Because sometimes when we say that we direct our energy to 1,000 different directions, I'm not even not able to gain anything. So we need to have the direction. When you allocate 100% of the energy in one direction, to gain something is so much easier. So that means that we need to understand that gain is dependent on direction. The better direction, the easier it is to gain. Less direction, less clarity on direction, it's harder truly to achieve any gain. You potentially can put so much effort, but that effort doesn't lead to gain. So effort doesn't equal gain. But then you have direction and you put that effort into it. Now gain is not guaranteed, but is more highly likely to get. And last one, number 7, is the most valuable gains are internal, not external. And that's a beautiful thing. Most valuable gains are internal, not external. What it means that when you think about developing gains, self-awareness, clarity, confidence, emotional regulation, integrity, wisdom, there's so many things that you internally could develop and gain that wisdom, gain that understanding, gain that internal peace, inner peace. And that is so much more important than really gaining something extra cash in your bank. Sometimes it's helpful when you have that financial stability. It potentially allows you to have more freedom to really sit down and reflect and build that awareness. I understand it's helpful, but and the most important part is still the money is not the goal. The goal is developing that internal gains, so that we can have a meaningful, purposeful life and knowing direction of our life at the same time as well. So I hope that you reflect as well. What is gain for you, and what you would love to gain in your life, internally, externally, just to make sure that you have that direction and it's easier and increasing your chances to achieve that. So I hope you choose to win, and see you tomorrow.